We're 106 miles to West City. We've got a full-speed Nimbus cloud, half a pouch of sensu beans. It's dark, and we're wearing wading clothing.
Hit it.
Okay, welcome to Anime Territory. Episode 71.
Yes.
Streaming. We are doing this live here, so maybe it'll have some edits when I put it up on YouTube in like 4 days. But this is Start Dragon Ball Crash Course, or How Shabs Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Spirit Bomb.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what came over me when I came up with that, but I'm like, this is amazing. This is a great title. Brock, do you know what this is a reference to?
No.
Okay. This is a reference to Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Atomic Bomb.
All right.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick.
So, I watched all of Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Shabs watched occasional episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Brock, like me, has lived and breathed Dragon Ball since he was like 5.
Yeah.
Maybe more. It's, it plays a very pivotal role in me and Brock's childhoods, and a very tertiary role in Shabs' childhood because he hung out with me and Brock. So I don't expect... Brock didn't watch all of Dragon Ball for this. Shabs didn't watch all of Dragon Ball for this. I did. I forced Shabs to watch my favorite 10 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, which is the Great Saiyaman arc.
Great arc.
I think it continues to be good when I enter the World Tournament. But then, Boo is fine, but it just...
Yeah.
I lose interest once Fidela's out of the scene. Spoiler alert, she's best girl. We're going into the best girl category right now. It's Videl.
Yeah.
It's not Bulma. It's most certainly not Bulma.
Yeah, but
you could maybe argue Android 18.
I was gonna argue Android 18.
You can do that. Android 18 is a competitor.
What's your thoughts on Chi-Chi?
I think she's fine in Dragon Ball, and whatever in Dragon Ball Z, and whatever in Dragon Ball Super. It's fine. It's fine.
She's great in the tournament arc where she fights.
Yeah. That
when
was
she's
good.
feisty.
Mm-hmm. She's always feisty. No, yeah, that was, though, like, Goku's like, okay, yeah, I love you, or like, I know what my heart says. It's like, does it, Goku? Do you really? You've seen this girl like 4 times in your life.
Okay, so how many episodes of Dragon Ball are there?
There's 153 episodes of Dragon Ball.
Okay, I maybe watched 20.
Something like that. And they were interspersed throughout.
Yes.
Because I wasn't going to wait for you. This is a
No,
show we
it's
would
fine.
never finish
No.
if both of us had to watch it. It's just like, Ben's not home. All right, I'll pop it in.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to give Ben a Dragon Ball Crash Course. And some of this stuff he may already know. Just, again, from absorbing pop culture and hanging around me and Brock for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it may be brand new things. There will be a quiz, and by there will be a quiz, I haven't written down any questions.
Okay.
I do have some questions for Brock before we go on, or at least one question here. Okay, no, I think I want to wait until I get to a certain slide before I ask you this, because it's on.
Okay.
The question is on the slide.
Okay.
But Ben, okay, I have 3 questions for you written
Okay.
down, but we'll wait till we'll give you a chance,
Got
because
it.
I don't think you know what a Zenkai boost is.
No, it's from the game, right?
No.
Dang.
Okay. So that's just the title slide.
Okay.
So, TV series. We've got Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Dragon Ball GT, which you don't need to worry yourself about
Yes.
too much. We've got Dragon Ball Super, and just recently released is Dragon Ball Daima,
Okay.
where they're going to become little kids again.
Okay.
They're going to get magically turned into little kids because they didn't learn their lesson with GT when they turned Goku into a little kid. So
So it's like Muppet Babies?
yeah, it's like, it's Dragon Ball babies.
Ham City Dragon Ball Babies?
Yeah.
Looney Tune Babies. Have you ever
Yeah.
watched that?
I know of it, but yeah. I got it.
Okay. Now, there are alternative canons. So we're going to be talking mostly about TV show canon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, technically, the manga is the end-all, be-all canon. There's stuff that happens in the TV show that is filler,
Mm-hmm.
does not, actually happen in the manga. But for the most part, the anime Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is about a direct adaptation as you can get.
Gotcha.
Now, there are Dragon Ball video games with alternative canons or future arcs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So Dragon Ball Heroes had some weird stuff. Xenoverse has got its whole own story. Dragon Ball Online takes place like hundreds of years in the future when it's like, yeah, there's just the Earth is there's no like Saiyans anymore, but you know you might be an Earthling with Saiyan heritage, or you might be a Namekian, or you might be a Majin Buu person.
Interesting.
But that was like an MMO that,
Or a cat person.
well, those are already around.
Oh.
Beast people talking animals, that was already around in Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Becomes less important. They don't really address it. Like, why is the president of that country a wolf man? Don't worry about it. They're a dog man. Sorry. Then we've got the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z movies are their own canon. Or they don't fit into the canon anywhere nicely. Except for there's like 2 of them that can fit. Like BoJack can fit.
Yeah.
And there's maybe one other one that's like, yeah, that could happen before everything.
Bio Broly or not?
No, none of the Brolys fit. Now, possibly, and this is where it gets weird, Battle of Gods and Resurrection of Frieza, or Resurrection of F, were supposed to be the next like canonical iterations after Dragon Ball. But then they redid those movies as arcs in Dragon Ball Super.
And in the manga, yeah.
Yeah, and in the manga. So it's like I didn't watch those arcs in Dragon Ball Super, but being honest, I watched the movie. I can skip these 40 episodes.
Oh, yeah, no, it is directly just the longer version.
Yeah, longer, more filler, and I'm like, I don't need this stuff. So I might have missed some things, but whatever. So you can sort of argue that those are not canonical anymore. But you know, those are alternate things that, you know, just be aware, like, if we watch a Dragon Ball Z movie, it does not fit into the timeline anywhere.
Okay.
Now, the Dragon Ball saga is broken up into these rough sagas, and some of these are sort of sub-sagas, but we got Pilaf Saga, first like 12 episodes or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first World Martial Arts Tournament.
Okay. So, let me try to get this. So, first arc ends with the pig guy asking for underwear?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know who wins the first World Martial Arts Tournament?
I didn't see it, but you said it was Jackie Chung.
Yes. And then after that, we go into the Red Ribbon Army arc.
This is where it's just like, nah, not really. You watched a lot of this without me.
Mm-hmm. So Red Ribbon Army arc can sort of be broken down into 3 sub-arcs. There's the General Blue stuff. There's stuff that happens before General Blue. There's General Blue. And then there's the Commander Red arc. And then there's Fortune Teller Baba. We got second World Martial Arts Tournament. You know, after that, there's a time skip between pretty much each of these arcs. They're not really between First World and Red Ribbon. There's not really a time skip there.
Yeah, the first 3, yeah, it's kind of one to the other to the other.
Well, no, because there is the training. Like, there's like an 8-month time skip.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we'll show you like a couple of days of Goku's training, but just now he's going to have 8 months of this shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, time skip. Red Ribbon Army arc is shortly after that.
There had to be at least a year between the Pilaf and Army, right? Because that's how long it took for them to recharge.
Yep.
I know stuff.
Yep. But then after the Fortune Teller Baba arc, they sub-arc.
Fortune Teller Baba?
We'll get to it.
I think I saw any of that one.
There's just like okay. And then like in 2 years, we'll have the second World Martial Arts Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately after the second World Martial Arts Tournament, the King Piccolo arc starts.
Okay.
And then there's another like 3-year time skip, 2-year time skip to the Piccolo Junior arc, or the third World Martial Arts Tournament.
Okay.
Because isn't the martial arts
Technically
like
it's 21st.
4 years?
It's every. They were having it every 5 years because of popularity. They moved it to every 3 years. So there's 3 years between each World Martial Arts Tournament.
Okay.
The World Martial Arts Tournaments are called the Tenkaichi Budokai. So if you ever hear that phrase, it means strongest under the heavens or something like that.
Yeah.
Number 1 under the heavens tournament, something like that. But that's your general Dragon Ball saga arc.
Yes.
So now we're moving on to characters, which I can't go back. We're starting with our boy Goku. So this is how we get introduced to him.
Mm-hmm.
This is him, end of Dragon Ball, start of Dragon Ball Z. This is his first Super Saiyan form. I didn't show Super Saiyan 2 because he's hardly ever in Super Saiyan 2. This is Super Saiyan 3. In Dragon Ball GT, we get Super Saiyan 4, which is probably the best thing to come out of Dragon Ball GT.
Yeah.
He becomes like more of a monkey man. That's fur.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't
he's
like
got
that
a red
look.
tail. Oh, you don't? Okay, well, that makes one person.
Yeah.
People like that?
Yeah.
People like Super Saiyan 4. And then there's some other forms we're not seeing, like the Super Saiyan God. But this is, do you want to guess what this one is called?
What's blue, right?
That's what it's, that's its name now. Do you know what it was originally called?
Oh, shoot. It's something like stupid, isn't it?
Yep, it's real stupid.
I'm pretty sure I've heard it, but I can't remember.
It's Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
Okay. Why would you say it twice?
Well, Super Saiyan God is just like he's
Okay.
using God Ki, and then he goes Super Saiyan in that form.
Okay.
Is basically what it is. So, classic Goku. I've just kind of put over on the side here some basic techniques that they would know. So little Goku here. What he had up his sleeve is he's got his extending power pole.
Yep.
Jankin martial arts or rock paper scissors martial arts is something that he would
Okay.
use. He's got his flying Nimbus to help him.
Mhm.
He learns the Kamehameha wave. It's pretty much his big
Yeah.
finishing move for a while. Do you know what the after image technique is?
I think I've seen it.
Yeah. That's
But
just where they
yeah.
go so fast that it looks
Yeah.
like they're in two places at once. He uses solar flare on occasion, which he stole from TN. And then the final trump card that they only play a couple times is his Uzaru transformation when he turns into the big monkey man.
Okay.
That's
That's
called
why he's got a
Uzaru.
tail.
I only saw that once.
Into Pilaf, they do it. It happens in the First World Martial Arts Tournament, and then they blow up the moon,
Okay.
and then it doesn't happen again to him.
Yeah.
He kills his grandpa in it before the show starts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now moving on to he still has all this stuff, though he doesn't really use the power pole. And the Nimbus, eventually he becomes faster than the Nimbus, so he doesn't need to fly using it. But Solar Flare still gets used. After image techniques gets used. The Kamehameha wave gets used. It gets there's technically the Super Kamehameha
Yeah.
wave and Father Son Kamehameha. Don't worry about that. It's just a more powerful version of it. I didn't put those on here. But he learns a few other critical techniques that become trademarks of his. And we learn about a technique he's supposedly always had. So Kaioken is a technique that he learns the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb from King Kai, which we'll get to later. But
Okay.
Kaioken is basically just it's really hard to do this, but I'm going to increase my strength by some multiplier. And then it's I'm going to be 10 times stronger, but it only lasts for 20 seconds or something, and it's very strenuous on the body to do. And he kind of adds multipliers to that all throughout the Saiyan and Frieza sagas. He's just Kaioken times, I think it's maybe up to times 20 or something.
Okay.
But it's just a short burst of increased speed and strength. The Spirit Bomb draws in the energy of the planet and can draw it other people can offer their energy to it. And it's just a big ass, potentially planet destroying bomb.
Yeah.
It's 1 for 3.
Uh,
Didn't work on Vegeta. Didn't work on
Frieza.
Didn't work on Frieza. Didn't even try it against Cell. And it did work finally on Kid Buu. And then it works in the movies. Sometimes it comes up in the movies. Obviously, we got Super Saiyan 1 through 3.
Yep.
He learns instant transmission, which is just he can just teleport
Yeah.
pretty well anywhere that he can get an energy signal. He can read an energy signature from.
Okay.
So he can teleport to King
different
Kai's
planet.
planet, which is in the other. It's
okay.
in the other world, the world of the dead. There. fusion is he knows the fusion dance. He does not use it in the Dragon Ball Z series at all. Does he?
They do
use
in
it-
Super. Well,
Okay.
yeah, with Broly they do. But
Yeah. So he's got the fusion dance. He uses it in some of the movies. He uses
the Pataras earrings.
yeah,
That's-
Patara earrings is a different fusion. That's canon. Like he uses that with Vegeta in the Buu saga. He uses it in GT because there's a Super Saiyan 4 fusion of Goku and Vegeta. And then we have Zenkai Boost, which we've hinted at. So what Zenkai Boost is, it is a trait of all Saiyans that when they go to near death, but they don't die and they recover, they just get their power just goes up by some
Oh,
multiplier.
okay.
It becomes less and less relevant as the series goes on. I think the consensus of the community is it's such a small power boost that it no longer registers to them because they're so much higher than they were before. Speaking of so much higher than they were before, we've got a few techniques that were added in Dragon Ball Super. We've got Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Blue. And then Ultra Instinct, which is not a transformation, though it looks like one. But it's basically just he becomes. How would you describe it? He just
His body
reacts
can move
without
without
his
him
mind
yeah.
thinking of it. So like when a person reacts, like if you're at the doctor's office and they hit you with the little hammer, what that does is your nerves in your knee send a signal to your brain saying to react, and
I
your
know
brain
how
sends
the
a signal
nervous
back.
system
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Well, this is just like, it just reacts instantaneously.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to think about it. It does not. It bypasses his nervous system.
Got it.
Very useful for defense. Harder to hit people in that form, which is what he kind of struggled with. Is that
Okay.
he couldn't. He's sort of perfected it now, but it had its limitations there. And then in GT we had Super Saiyan 4 get introduced. There's also a golden monkey thing. Don't worry about that.
We don't talk about that.
No, they don't.
And then we got our next character get introduced is Bulma. Here's Bulma in Dragon Ball. Here she is in the Frieza arc. There she is with her baby, and that's what she looks like in Super. Which it's commented on, like she uses the Dragon Balls superfluously to just like make herself look younger.
Okay.
Or also like just make her improve things about her life.
Yeah, like give facelifts and shit. Like, okay, it's like
Just a little bits at a time. Like, why
so
not?
she's very vain.
Mm-hmm.
So her equipment and techniques that she has, she's got a Dragon Raid art
Yep.
to hunt the Dragon Balls. She's got a bunch of capsules with all sorts of
Yep.
like houses and vehicles and stuff. She is a genius inventor. She's very smart. She has money. She's the richest person in the
Screw
world.
The rules. I have
Oh
no
yeah,
money.
because capsules.
She supposedly has sex appeal.
Eh.
Put a question mark there. And then she's got the power that she's a gag character hit. So she can like give Goku and Vegeta a
Okay.
bruise, even though she wouldn't be able to do shit to them.
Okay, so what is it? As a person who's only watched 20 episodes, I like Bulma.
Okay. Bulma is one of the people. I have this in one of my notes here that Bulma's part of the gossipy bitches group.
Okay.
Where they're not really like they don't contribute, but they're just there,
Yeah.
like at the tournaments, and they're just commenting.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Next, we got Master Roshi, the Turtle Hermit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we can see here, he can get swole.
Mm-hmm.
Here's his base form looking there. And then he is, in fact, spoiler alerts, the same person as Jackie Chan.
What?
Some of his techniques.
20 years.
He invented the Kamehameha wave.
Okay.
Um,
What's the sleepy boy technique?
He uses hypnosis to make Goku sleepy in the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Okay.
And the announcer's like, "Isn't this supposed to be a fight?" And he's like, "You idiot! The sleepy boy technique is a classic martial arts move." After image technique.
Yeah.
A lot of people have that. Thunder Shock Surprise, he just could shoot lightning.
Okay.
Evil Containment Wave, which is used to just capture people in jars or in rice cookers.
I saw that.
He knows Drunken Fist martial arts. He knows Jonkin martial arts.
Okay.
And he has eternal youth.
Oh, really?
He drank from the fountain of youth.
At that age, I'm assuming?
Yeah, or he's like 300 or 400 years old or something.
Okay.
Which gets into being complicated because there's characters. It's like, yes, he knew him when they were both 20, and also this other character who I suppose all of them had to have drank from the fountain of youth because this other character is this person's brother.
Or his sister.
Well, his sister's also confirmed to be old as dirt, so
Yeah, but it's like, what?
she's got a different thing.
Didn't
going
write
on.
down one of his main personality traits.
Well, these are his techniques. He is a
Okay.
pervert.
Yeah, he's a perv.
Was that not obvious from this look?
Also sounds like Chetney.
Okay. From Critical Role, yeah. I would say that Chetney sounds like Master Roshi, but okay.
It's that thing. I listened to that one first, so that's the one I know. That's
We got Yamcha here.
fucking Yamcha's in this.
So at the start of the series, Yamcha has a sword, which is why he's got a sword here. He kind of
Okay.
ditches that pretty quick.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever saw him with a sword.
It's like the first episode, and that's it. Like the first time you see him.
Yeah, his signature move at the start is Wolfang Fist, which is just he just punches a bunch or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
He can do the Kamehameha wave.
Mhm.
He plays baseball.
Nice.
And then his like one move that he does that nobody else does is called Spirit Ball. It's basically just like an orb.
Great
of-
value version of the Spirit Ball.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just like okay, and I can control it. Like I can
Mom, we
zip
have
it
Spirit
around.
Bomb? We have Spirit Bomb at home. And it's a Spirit Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got like finer control over it, so he can
Okay.
like, home in to people with
Okay.
it. So, but his main thing is he's known for dying.
Okay.
Here he is being taken out by a Cyberman,
Okay.
which we'll get to
It's a
that.
very famous image.
Yep. Surely they make a statue of this somewhere, right? Of Yamcha in this pose. Now, we're our first antagonist. So I'm kind of doing this in the order that they were introduced, is
Okay.
how I'm doing this. So we've got the Pilaf gang. So we've got Emperor Pilaf, it's the guy in this blue boy in the
Mhm.
center. We've got Shu, the dog. And we've got Mai, the sexy Russian spy-looking lady.
Okay. She's not
Um,
Russian.
Well, she's got like the coat that
Okay.
when I say Russian, her accent is not, but the
Okay.
coat is.
Gotcha.
Also, Russia doesn't exist in Dragon Ball, but she's got that Russian military coat look,
Okay.
which is a good look on a woman. They got money. They
Mhm.
just seem to. Emperor Pilaf just seems to have infinite money. He built a Death Star at one point. That's why I got airships down here. He's got a big pinball thing that was
Yeah, I
what they
saw that.
attacked with. And then their main form of fighting in later issues is they've got robots that can combine,
Okay.
like mechs that they pilot and can combine. They're the oh god, it's these guys again. How are they still alive?
Yeah.
Antagonists. And then they turn they turn them all back into kids in Dragon Ball Super because
And in GT,
and in GT, and
Trunks now likes Mai.
yeah, and that's a weird thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are like, she's like 50. What?
She's older than your dad. I'm sure of it. But anyway, whatever. I've talked about that at length. I'm not going to go into that. It's whatever. I get that they're just like, we have this baller character design. Can we just do that again? But they could have been like, it's her granddaughter. And that would have been something. You know?
Her name is Ma.
It's named after her grandmother. Anyway, Pilaf Gang. First antagonist.
Okay.
Oolong and Poir. Now, this is my question for you, Brock. Are they a couple? Are they a thing? Because they were they all gathered up at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, and everybody appears in oh, this
Birds.
person shows up, this person shows up, and Poir and Oolong show up together, and are they a thing?
I don't know. They could be.
They're just and Poir and Oolong are there.
Yeah, they knew each other in the past. They're
Yeah.
just the Transformers.
Yeah, so they have transformation powers.
Yes.
They went to transformation school. Oolong can only hold it for 5 minutes. Poir before he dropped out before learning how to hold it longer. Poir can just do it indefinitely.
Okay.
Poir is Yamcha's pet.
Partner thing.
Yeah. Does Poir like Yamcha? I don't know, but they just seem to be
Also-
good buddies.
He just floats.
Yeah. A flying talking cat that can transform into things.
And a pig.
Yeah, and a pig man. We meet other people of Oolong's race in some filler at the very end of Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Um,
don't remember that. So
it's when they are trying to the it's Goku and Chi Chi running around trying to get stuff to stop the fires in Fire Mountain before their wedding.
Okay.
So last couple of episodes there. Then we got Ox King and Chi Chi. So I just put them on one slide. There's classic Ox King and Chi Chi in the corner here. This is Chi Chi in Dragon Ball Z. This is Chi Chi at the end of Dragon Ball. And this is what the Ox King turns into when he's a grandpa.
Nice.
I love Ox King. He's great. So they've got dope helmets,
Yes.
as you can tell. Ox King is an axe. He's got an axe, and he's just a giant, so he's strong. Chi-Chi's got anger and cooking and overbearing mother strength.
Gotcha.
So she can put the fear of God into her husband and children, but that's about it.
Now, you forgot one thing with Oxing. He's got money.
Well, he had money. He's been supporting a lazy Goku and their family for a while. Also, he's had a castle or two blow up in his day.
He also trained with Gohan's grandpa.
Oh, yes. He was a student of Master Roshi. He was Master Roshi's second student, and Grandpa Gohan was his first.
But he never learned the commandment.
Did I?
You might have just missed one.
Yeah, I think I did. Exit full screen. Oop. Exit full screen. All right. Then we've got our boy Shenron. So he's summoned by gathering the 7 Dragon Balls.
Yep.
He can grant any wish, including underwear creation,
Okay.
reviving the dead, eternal youth, immortality, restoring youth, and undestroying a planet
Nice.
and its entire population. Later, he gets the power to grant 2 wishes because he gets remade by a new Guardian of Earth. And he can't do something beyond the power of Kami. So they're like, can you just like kill the Saiyans? And he's like, nope, too strong. Kami couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But then that just makes me think, does that mean Kami can revive the dead? Like, why do we need to gather the Dragon Balls?
One thing in the early, you have to keep the body in good condition.
Yeah.
That becomes the thing with King Piccolo. And after that, they're like, yeah, we just made a new body. All right.
Well, you
We
fix
just
it.
undestroyed a planet.
But I guess, like, I think Shenron can do more things than Kami. Like, he can put his energy, but, like, he's got, like, an energy cap, if
Okay.
that makes sense. So, like, Kami can't revive the dead, but if Kami knew how to do that, like, how to apply his energy to do it, then he would be able to. But Shenron can just apply that energy however he sees fit.
Got it.
It's how I've kind of retconned, or not retconned, but headcanoned it in my head there. Because it's like, well, I don't, it's like, we can't do something that Kami, that's beyond Kami's power. It's like,
Does
but
that
you
mean-
guys know Kami. You know God. You can go talk to him and be like, hey,
Can you bring
bring him back.
Bring him back.
And we got Krillin, who is Goku's best friend, I would say.
Yeah.
He is, I guess, Master Roshi's 4th pupil,
Yeah.
because Goku would be the 3rd. He's a short king. He's got, obviously, the Kamehameha wave. He's got his signature move is the Destructo Disc, which is just energy discs that cut through pretty much anything.
Got it.
He can do the solar flare. He does that on occasion. He has no nose. That's a power he uses in the 21st martial arts tournament. Because he's fighting this big guy who's never showered and weaponizes his stink. And it's like, Krillin, you don't have a nose. He's like, you're right. And Toriyama said in an interview, he's like, oh, yeah, no, Krillin doesn't have a nose. He's got these weird, like, ways that he can smell through osmosis in his skin or something. It's like, what the fuck are you on about, Toriyama? Toriyama's a guy that just says shit sometimes. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Don't worry.
He's got the after image technique, and he gets second best girl in the series, Android 18. At the time of her introduction, best girl in the series, I would say. But yeah, he is
Girl's
the
hair.
most powerful Earthling.
Yeah.
Because he outclasses Tien and Yamcha at the end.
So I know that debate because
Tien can-
later Tien has alien blood, so like pure Earthlings, yes, but then Tien. So
Yeah,
I'm
but I
like,
think he beats Tien anyway, because Tien just kind of stops like doing stuff. Tien shows up like barely in the Boo saga, and then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna fuck off now."
he's like,
'Cause I'm
I
like,
deal with this.
I rescued you guys from being turned into stone, and I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
So Question.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing that armor?
So when they go to Namek,
Okay.
they're at one point they need a change of clothes, and Vegeta's like, "Here's some armor that we'll raid from
Okay.
the
Frieza.
Frieza ship." So Gohan gets armor at the same time.
Okay.
They're just like, "Yeah, let's put him in the armor." The armor
Like, I
looks
always
cool.
see that armor like on Vegeta. I'm like, why is he wearing that?
Yeah, that's Frieza army issue armor, and they just raided a ship for a change of clothing.
Okay.
Um,
Why is he doing the Breakfast Club thing?
'Cause he just hit one punch somebody in the World Martial
Oh,
Arts
okay.
tournament, and he's like, "All right, I'm done."
Got it.
So we have Launch, who Toriyama forgot about.
Mhm.
She just stopped
Forgot.
showing up at Dragon Ball or after Dragon Ball. She can transform with a sneeze
Mhm.
into either Kind Launch, which has blue hair, or Mean Launch, which has yellow hair here. Kind Launch is good at cooking, cleaning.
That has
Mean
blue hair.
Launch, yeah, it has blue hair. I just wanted to put that there in case I didn't.
Okay.
And then Mean Launch has got guns and explosives, which are only used for comical effect.
Yes.
Mhm.
She has a
And
thing
come
for
out of
Tien.
nowhere.
Yep. Well, you know, nature's pocket and all that. Okay. Here are our Red Ribbon officers in the Red Ribbon arc. So we've got
I miss Colonel.
Wait. See if he can guess who they are correctly.
yeah, which
well,
ones
the
are
names
which?
are right there.
Yeah, but which ones are which?
Oh, good question. That has to be Commander Red,
Yeah.
and that has to be Assistant Black / Commander Black.
Yep.
That has to be Colonel Violet.
The girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's this one?
That's General Blue, Colonel Yellow, Colonel Silver. Why is that? I think that's Blue.
Nope.
No? That has to be General Blue then.
This one?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, he's... I don't know. Just say him.
Okay. So this is Colonel Silver.
Okay.
This is Colonel Yellow.
Okay.
This is General White, and this is General Blue.
Okay.
Um,
I think
Colonel-
General Blue might be wearing something different than I saw him.
yeah,
Yeah.
he typically, like, this isn't his full army uniform. He typically, you would see him, he didn't have his shirt on anymore.
Okay.
He can, like, is he, like, paralyze people is what he
Yeah.
does?
Something like
Yeah.
With an eyesight
It's like,
technique.
I don't think I've ever saw those two.
Yeah. Well, General White is in my least favorite part of Dragon Ball, which is the muscle. He's in charge of Muscle Tower, which just drags on. It's one of the drags in Dragon Ball.
Okay.
He's got like this ninja subordinate who's just like they spend way too much time on him.
Annoying, and Goku defeats him by him falling on the power pole.
Okay.
Colonel Silver, he was kind of cool, but he was like the first Red Ribbon Army officer, and they're just like, you failed to find the Dragon Ball, and some kid beat you, and then he might have been killed off screen.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen from again. Colonel Yellow is barely in it. He's got a little plane. at one
Yeah.
I
point.
don't recognize that one, to be honest.
He's when they start. That's at Korin's Tower. He's looking for the Dragon Ball around Korin's Tower
Okay.
before Mercenary Tao shows up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, like, he technically gets it, but then loses it, and then General Tao has to go there and get it.
Colonel Violet is the only person to actually complete their job of finding a Dragon Ball.
Okay.
But then, as like Goku's raiding the compound, she's just like breaks into their vault and steals all their stuff, and it's like, all right, well, I got what I came here for. She also just has disdain for her fellow soldiers' life. She's like, all right, well, you guys
Bye.
deal with these angry natives. Bye. So she's sort of a cheeky bitch.
Okay.
And then yeah, you got this one right. That's Assistant Black, who kills Commander Red when he learns that Commander Red was going to use the Dragon Balls to become taller, and he assumes control of the army and becomes Commander Black.
Okay.
And then Commander Red is the head honcho in charge there.
I can't blame him, seeing how he's like the same size as Goku.
Yeah,
And
pretty
Goku's like 4.
And we've got, honestly, one of my favorite characters for some reason. He's barely in the show, but we've got Mercenary Tao, or Tao Pai Pai. So he is, I mentioned before that there's a character that knew Master Roshi as a kid. That character, we haven't met him yet, is the Crane Hermit. And he is the Crane Hermit's younger brother. Or possibly Yeah, younger brother.
I thought it was older.
If it's older, that's even crazier.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Because I'm just like, I don't think this guy is some old coot that's extended his life like the Crane Hermit and the Turtle Hermit, but he's
He
there.
might be, younger.
I saw the Crane Hermit, so I know who you're talking about.
So he's got the Dodon Ray, which is a Crane School, Kamehameha wave equivalent, but it shoots from a finger. He's got the Pillar Throwing, which I've shown you that scene because they a show called Magical Destroyers. Brock, there's a character that just straight up does this pose, and it's just throws something, jumps on it, and does that pose. I'm like, they did it. They did the Mercenary Tau pose. After Goku defeats him by kicking his own grenade back at him, he gets cyborg enhancements and enters the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament to try to both win it and kill Tien and Goku. He gets disqualified for having a hidden sword knife thing. He also, just like his other hand, can like come open and do a Dodon cannon, which is just a bigger Dodon Ray from his whole wrist there. So he's cool. I like him. He's barely in the show. So around the same time, we also meet Upa, which is the little guy here, and Bora, which is his dad. Bora has a spear.
Nice.
Upa has a hatchet, and at one point he weaponizes eating garlic and breathing on somebody.
Cool.
They guard Korin's tower. Bora tried to climb it when he was a youth and failed, but they were basically like, yeah, this tower is sacred. We guard this place. Mercenary Tau kills Bora. Goku uses the Dragon Balls to wish him back to life. It's the second use of the Dragon Balls in the series. Speaking of Korin's tower, we got Korin. He's got some like pots that, if you look at them, you can see visions of the past, present, and future. He makes sensu beans, which you know what sensu beans are.
Nope.
So if you eat one sensu bean, that's enough food for 10 days.
Oh, wow.
So you'll be full for 10 days. Now, what that means is it gives you a sudden burst of energy. And then what that eventually becomes is, yeah, you eat this bean and you're healed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, whatever. He teaches Goku to anticipate his opponents, because his whole thing is he's got this sacred water at the top of his tower that if you drink the sacred water, you become stronger. But really, it's a trick. It's just regular tap water. The trick is that you get stronger by climbing the tower, and he forces Goku to climb the tower like 2 or 3 times.
Dang.
And you get faster by having to catch him, because he's just a speedy little bastard, because he's got the after image technique. But he's basically just teaching Goku, like, okay, you have to not just react to me, you have to anticipate what I'm going to do next. It took Master Roshi 3 years to catch Korin and drink the sacred water. It took Goku 3 days.
Nice.
Now we got Fortune Teller Baba. So, Fortune Teller Baba is Master Roshi's older sister? Younger sister?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. She can find anything in her crystal ball. She can't see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's a joke I came up with.
Okay.
It's a tweet I had once. They need to go to her because they can't find the last Dragon Ball. It's not showing up on the radar. So they're going to use her powers to find it. But she charges an exorbitant sum. So if you can't pay the sum, then you pay with her amusement. You have to challenge her 5 fighters. So we have Fangs the Vampire, who Upa uses garlic breath on.
Okay.
We've got See-Through the Invisible Man. That's this guy covered in... if you watch the censored version, it's tomato juice. If you watch the regular version, it's Master Roshi's blood from when they pulled Bulma's top down in front of him.
Okay.
Then they move inside and they fight Bandages the Mummy. And then they fight Spike the Devil Man. And then they fight Grandpa Gohan, who hides his identity from Goku at first. So Grandpa Gohan is dead. You can see the halo. She can ferry people back from the world of the dead. But for like 1 day only, and only if they've been good, they can get a 1-day pass.
And she's off on holidays.
Yeah. So she's got an extended lifespan as well, just like Master Roshi. She's got a bunch of money. She's rich. And then the sorry, some bot is
Yeah.
chatting me shit. Okay, I just like something showed up. Do we have a chat? Oh, all right,
Nope.
whatever. She in Dragon Ball Z, she brings Goku back to fight in the World Martial Arts Tournament because he'd been good boy
Yeah.
too. Next, we meet Tien Shinhan. So, as a student of the Crane Hermit, he's got the Dodon Ray. He invented Solar Flare. He's got the Tri Beam, which can use his life energy to do a powerful attack. And Tri Beam scales pretty well. Like, he uses it first in Dragon Ball, but it's still useful against Cell.
Okay.
At one point, he grows 2 arms out of his back.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. In the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, he learns quadruplication. So it's not an after image technique. There's just 3 more of him. There's 4 of him now.
Okay.
The weakness of that is that it kind of like divides his
Divides.
strength into
Yeah.
4 too. So, not used very often, but he can shoot a laser out of his third eye.
Cool.
He's got the after image technique. He's also just like, he can just learn techniques by watching people do
Okay.
them. So like, he's just like, yeah, you fuckers with your Kamehameha wave, look, anybody can do it. And then he does it. He also can just like tank key blast hits. So like they shoot a Kamehameha wave at him and he's just like, fucking take it. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
So they don't really work that well on him. And he does learn the evil containment wave at one point.
Cool.
He doesn't really, he uses it once but fails, I think.
Yes. My favorite thing from the evil containment wave came from Super. When they're in the tournament and items can't be used, but Roshi uses it. The
It's
other
just like-
people are like, hey, that's cheating. The Supreme God is like, that's hilarious. I love it. Keep doing it. And they're like, all right, it's allowed.
You're allowed. Well, and also, Kami uses it in the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament against Piccolo Jr. And they're just like, well, it's just a little bottle. It's not a weapon, so it's allowed. We meet his sidekick, Chaozu, who, again, has the Dodon Ray, after image technique. He also has telepathy and telekinesis,
Okay.
which he uses the telekinesis to rig the tournament drawing order. So it's like Tien's like, put Yamcha against me in the first round, and then he can just like manipulate which piece of paper goes into people's hands from the drawing of the box there. And then this is a name from one of the games, Farewell, Mr. Tien. He can blow himself up.
Oh. Okay.
He explodes on what's his name?
Nappa.
Nappa once. It's just like Nappa's like, well, that hurt a little bit.
Oh no, Vegeta. They use self-destruct.
That's from the bridge. Don't listen to Brock. He's just gonna quote a bridge song.
Yes.
And then their master Shin, the Crane Hermit, who also has telepathy, extended lifespan, presumably.
Okay.
Again, they don't talk about it, but they're like, yeah, he knew Roshi when they were both like 18.
Okay. If
And
I
Dodon Ray, presumably.
remember correctly, he gets like blasted into like space, right?
No.
Not space, but like blasted. Do you ever
Blast
see him
off like
after
Team
that?
Rocket.
Yeah. Am I wrong about that?
Are you thinking of the bunny man from the very early Dragon Ball where he has to go to the moon and make rice cakes for children to become
No,
good?
this is like right after the.
24th with General Tao.
No, I think this would have been like the third.
It would have been the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament.
Oh, I'm thinking of like right after Tien wins.
Yeah, it was the 22nd World Martial
Oh,
Arts
it's
Tournament.
22nd. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking in terms of what, like in this show.
You're like what arc it was?
Yeah, it was like the second tournament arc.
Yeah, that would be the 22nd
Yeah.
World Martial Arts Tournament.
Sorry.
I don't remember
Okay.
what happens to him.
I thought he gets like Team Rocketed.
Maybe.
I thought that
He can
happened with his
fly, I
brother.
presume. I haven't mentioned flying, but pretty much all these characters that are fighters learn to fly at some point.
Yeah, it starts off with him and Tien and Chaozu.
Yeah,
But Shin makes Tao throw in the pillar like, I could fly. Nah.
Well, Mercenary Tao didn't complete his training, so he used the black sheep of the family of evil people.
Gotcha.
It's still evil though, and ran off because they had an argument. So that's why Mercenary Tao couldn't fly, I guess. Then we get introduced to Demon King Piccolo. So here he is as Old Man Demon King Piccolo.
Old Man Piccolo.
He what do you call it? He was released from his imprisonment in a rice cooker by Pilaf Gang.
Okay.
So they were like working for him at one point. So he can make eggs, and either he can reincarnate into one of those eggs, which is what Piccolo Jr. becomes, or he can just make like demon spawn. This is before he was canonically an alien, so they're just like, yeah, you can just like make dinosaur demons. Fuck
Yeah.
it, he's a demon. He's just got like generic key abilities. He doesn't really have named key techniques. I wanted to talk shortly about May 9th versus May 13th. In the dub, he declares May 13th to be Piccolo Day.
Okay.
In the sub, he declares May 9th to be Piccolo Day. That is a cultural thing in that 9 is like bad luck in Japanese.
Okay.
Or like 5-9 is bad luck or something, but they changed it to the 13th because it's an American thing. This is him after he restores his youth with the Dragon Balls, which he said he was going to ask for eternal youth, and then he gets Dragon Balls and he asks to have his youth restored. So like, okay.
Then he destroys them.
Yeah, then he kills the dragon.
Nice.
But Kami glues him back together. No, it's actually Mr. Popo glues the dragon back together.
Actually glues it.
Yeah,
well, the
there's a
dragon
little
is
statue.
yeah. There's a little statue that's like, this is the body of the dragon that or the form that it takes, and it was destroyed whenever King Piccolo killed the real dragon. And Mr. Popo gets some super glue and glues them back together.
Like, you didn't learn that here, but like right after this, Piccolo and Kami are the same being.
Mm-hmm. They're the same person.
Yeah.
But for Kami to become God, he had to get rid of his evil half, which just became Piccolo.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So here we got Piccolo's children. We get Tambourine, which kills Krillin.
Okay.
We have Piano, who's just sort of like his
Servant?
assistant. It's just like does all the logistical shit. Symbol was born to hunt the Dragon Balls, which means he's not as strong of a fighter. And then Drum was made when like Tien was trying to kill King Piccolo. And I like Drum. He's a big boy. Tambourine just looks cool. That's just like a classic. I like that look of like, oh yeah, scaly guy, muscular, has wings. Those are his children. And we meet Yajirobe, who's got a sword and he's hungry. Yajirobe kills Symbol and he eats him.
Okay.
And then he wants to like eat all of Piccolo's other children too, and possibly even eat Piccolo. He's basically like a wandering samurai character.
Okay.
He eventually he goes and meets up with he takes Goku back to Korin's tower, and I guess he just stays hanging out with Korin. Are they a thing? Are they a couple?
I don't
Are
know.
he and Korin an item?
Maybe.
They live together now because
Yeah.
he's just like he's addicted to eating them senzu beans.
Well, yeah. He's
So most of his job in the rest of the series is just like, hey, Korin gave me these senzu beans for you guys. Here's like 5 beans.
peace. I'm out.
He looks like a Dermot.
He
type.
is sort of. He is the one who gets the last I get technical defeat of Vegeta.
Oh, really?
Because they wear him down a bunch. Vegeta goes into Uzaru form. He turns into a giant ape, and he's the one who cuts off Vegeta's tail in that form.
Nice.
But
And then Krillin Bell uses his sword to stab Vegeta, and Goku's like, no.
nah, let Vegeta live. He's fine. Don't come back. Vegeta's like, fuck that shit. I'll be back, bitches. And fucks off to space. I like Yadra. He's one of the few Z fighters, as you call him. He never learns to fly.
Gotcha.
So
In the games, he just shows him spinning on with his sword, but after a few seconds, he will just fall to the ground.
that's in 1 or 2 games, maybe.
It's like UG 1 and 2.
And we got Kami. Kami is Japanese for God, but they call him Guardian of Earth in the dub because you can't release a show in America where a character is called God.
Yeah.
So he's got generic Ki Blast stuff. He's got eye lasers. He's got the after image technique, the evil containment wave. He can create Dragon Balls, which I don't think King Piccolo can do.
No.
Only certain types of Namekians can make Dragon Balls. There's Piccolo is a warrior type, and Kami is a dragon type.
But they were originally one, so it's
It's
confusing.
whatever.
Yeah.
He's got one of my favorite powers of the that both he and regular Piccolo have, which is he can just make things materialize. He can just like, I made these clothes with magic. Here you go.
Okay.
He can possess people. He possesses just a
Yeah,
random
I
person in
remember
the 23rd.
saw that.
So he's got. I just gave him basic. I've like
Imagine.
I put Namekian power set in here, which is like he can turn into a giant and stretchy arms and limb regeneration, and he can fuse with other Namekians.
Okay.
Which I can talk about that a little bit. Namekians can just absorb each other.
Cool.
In the Tournament of Power, one of the universes has 2 Namekians that enter, and it's like, yeah, we absorbed our entire race for this fight.
Oh,
Piccolo's like,
Because our universe's existence is at stake. So all of our people like donated their bodies to increase our strength.
And
And
Piccolo's
Piccolo
like,
is
yeah, you're
still
fine.
equal to them. Yeah, and he holds the title of Guardian of Earth, which
Yeah.
gives him this cool staff.
Nice.
Doesn't really mean anything per se.
I thought it was just because he's always like, oh no, I need this.
He might get like he might be able to just like see whatever's happening on Earth. He might be
Yeah, like him and
omniscient.
Piccolo, or like Namekians in general, have like very good key sensing abilities. They're just like, oh, we know what's happening. What's happening? I ain't gonna tell you.
We have Mr. Popo. He's a genie.
Cool.
He's Kami's assistant.
Nice.
He's got a magic carpet. He can make
Cool.
magic dolls. And then here's the pecking order.
Okay.
It goes you,
Okay.
then the dirt,
huh.
then the worms inside of the dirt,
Okay.
then Popo's stool,
Okay.
then Kami,
Okay.
then Popo.
Oh, wow.
He's on top. That's the pecking order.
Wait, that's the top?
Yeah, he's the top.
Oh, I thought that's the bottom.
No.
Oh.
So
You're
I'm the bottom.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
the bottom.
So he
because-
starts with the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's confusing because I have it going this
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
but
Also, you don't talk about Popo's training.
Okay.
but the DBZ abridged just is like canonically in DBZ abridged, he's the most powerful person ever.
Okay.
Like the dragon is like, oh shit, boss, I'm sorry, I'll do what you say. Then we have Piccolo Jr. / Piccolo / the nameless Namekian. So he was originally Piccolo Jr. Then they just call him Piccolo at a certain point. And then when he refuses with Kami to become one person again, he's just like, yeah, I don't remember what my original name was before I was Kami and Piccolo, so I'm just the nameless Namekian. Then they go back to calling him Piccolo.
Gotcha.
So he's got generic key attacks. He's got a special beam cannon, which takes a shit ton of time to load, but it's real powerful. He's where we get the Namekian power set from. Turn into a giant, stretchy arms, limb regeneration, and he can fuse with other Namekians. He's got the magic materialization. He makes a sword and clothes for Gohan at one point.
Cool.
Telekinesis, telepathy. He can also do like what Tien does, where he makes a copy of himself, and then
Okay.
you know he really only uses it for training against himself.
Okay.
He never uses it in a fight. And then Orange Piccolo is a thing that I haven't watched Dragon Ball Super Superhero yet, but that's like a transformation he gets. I don't know if you can elaborate on what
Yeah.
that is.
So he makes a wish with Shinron to become more powerful. Shinron's like, I can make you as strong as what you can be. And then just says, I'm going to add a little extra, which is Orange Piccolo. And another arc in the manga, we meet this other Namekian who's like, oh yeah, the Dragon Balls were made originally for the Namekians to give their warriors powers in great times. So that's that whole spiel.
Okay. So yeah, that's Orange Piccolo. He turns orange.
I don't like it.
I don't
He-
like
he looks like
he
the
gets a
Dragon Balls.
higher forehead there, which I'm not a fan of. But Piccolo is one of the classic. Him and Goku both wear weighted clothing a lot.
Oh, okay.
So like this like cape,
Thing.
Yeah.
his hat, his turban, and his cape / shoulder pads. Shoulder pads is what I was looking for. Those are like just weighed shit ton of.
Yeah.
Like when Frieza attacks one time with his army, he just tosses it to him. And like it just takes down 5 people. It's just, alright.
Next character we meet is Gohan / the Great Saiyaman.
Shit, he is a great Saiyaman.
Yep.
Spoilers.
So this is
What's up with that haircut?
which one?
Don't worry about it. We don't
The
talk about it.
green
We don't talk
tracksuit.
about it. We
Green
don't talk.
tracksuit?
We
Yeah.
don't talk about it.
Anyway, this is Gohan's look at the Frieza. This is
Namek.
like the Vegeta fight here, but this is a beginning when he's like 4. This is him in Super Saiyan 2 when he defeats Cell. We've got Ultimate Gohan form here, which is when his power gets unlocked by Elder Kai, which is somehow stronger than Super Saiyan 2. I don't know why he can't do both, but whatever.
He can. He just chooses not to.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
This is what he sort of looks like in Dragon Ball Super, and here he is as the goofball that he was always meant to be, the Great Saiyaman. So he's just, there's something about being a half human, half Saiyan that makes him inherently like have a better potential than anybody else. He turns into a giant monkey a couple times. He's got Zenkai Boost because he's a Saiyan. Got the Kamehameha Wave. Masenko is like a move that he supposedly
Learns from Piccolo.
That we never, do we see Piccolo use that move?
That I remember.
He's got Super Saiyan. He's the first one to go to Super Saiyan 2. Talked about Ultimate Gohan as his thing. He's got telekinesis as the Great Saiyaman. We see him use telekinesis. And he's got a cool helmet. Does he get his fashion sense from his mom and the Ox King is what I'm pondering
It's
here.
technically Bulma, right?
Well, Bulma made the helmet, but he's like, this is cool as hell.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just like, does he think that's cool because his mom and the Ox King wore dope helmets too?
Probably.
And then we've got, I just put these guys all on one
Okay.
slide. Raditz, Nappa, and the Cybermen.
You're
Generic
getting into
key
Z.
attacks. Yep, we're in Z. Well, we were in Z as soon as we hit Gohan.
Well, I said we were talking about Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball
Well,
Z.
I'm giving you a crash course. I
Right.
watched Dragon Ball. You're getting a crash course so you can survive.
Okay, let's
Okay.
go.
Generic key attacks, Zara transformation, Zenkai
Right.
boost. They've got Nappa has Cybermen seeds, which are literally as strong as Raditz and can be grown instantaneously out of the ground.
Okay.
And the Cybermen can self-destruct.
Yes.
They're these little goblin-looking guys. They're fun. You get Kings Yema and Kai. King Yema's bureaucrat presiding over the other world. King Kai is god of one quadrant of the universe. He's also called North Kai. He teaches Goku, Kaioken, and Spirit Bomb. He's got a little planet with 10 times Earth's gravity, which they use to train on. He's got long-range telepathy, and he's got 2 pets, Bubbles the monkey, Gregory the cricket.
Nice.
We got Vegeta, classic Vegeta, first arc, Super Saiyan Vegeta. This is Super Saiyan second grade, where it's still regular Super Saiyan, but he gets buffer. There's Majin Vegeta when he gets some power up from tapping into his evil. There. There's Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which we don't talk about. And this is Ultra Ego Vegeta, which is something in Super that I know it exists in the manga, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It's sort of a counter to Ultra Instinct. I think what it is he can just, when he gets hit, he can
Thank the Hulk. You get hit, he gets stronger.
Okay.
he still takes the damage,
Yeah.
but he gets stronger with each time he gets hit.
Yeah. Then he gets an earring.
So his signature technique at the beginning was Gallic Gun. He's got a monkey, super explosive wave, big bang attack, final flash. Those are all just like key attacks. He's got Zenkai boosts and the Super Saiyan. Want to talk a little bit about second grade. It's like better than regular Super Saiyan, but it is probably it exchanges speed for power. And there is a Super Saiyan third grade, which is just like, no, you're way too fucking slow when you go that buff. You get the Majin power up. He fuses with Goku, either with Potara or with Fusion Dance. Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. He can use Destruction Energy, which is, God of Destruction type thing. And they already talked about Ultra Ego and Super Saiyan 4. We got our Ginyu Force. They've got generic key stuff. There's 5 of them. Captain Ginyu, his big thing is he can body swap with people.
Okay.
There's Jeese, his big thing is that his dub has an Australian accent.
Okay.
There's Birder, he's a fast boy.
Okay.
This one is Birder, the blue one is.
Dang, I
Birder.
was gonna guess the green guy.
Yeah, we should have had him guess.
This is the orange guy is Jeese, the Australian.
Okay.
Purple one is Captain Ginyu.
I would have gotten that one right.
There's Raccoon, it rhymes with Doom.
Okay. That's gotta be big boy.
Yeah, that's the big
Okay.
boy here. And then Guldo can freeze time and he's got telekinesis.
Gotcha.
He can freeze time for as long as he's holding his breath, is what I think the rule is.
Yeah.
So like 20 minutes.
Not that. We got Nail and Guru here. So Guru's the big guy. Nail is this guy right here. The thing about Nail is that's how we learn about Namekian fusion, because he's just like all busted up from Frieza, and Piccolo's there, and it's like, you should absorb me. It's like, okay, that's a thing we can do. Generic Namekian powers. Guru is the guardian of Namek, like Kami's the guardian of Earth.
Mhm.
So he's got Dragon Ball creation powers too.
They're bigger. They're big boys.
This is Dinde. He's got healing powers. He can create Dragon Balls as well, and he becomes guardian of Earth after Piccolo and Kami fuse. This is him in a more like grown up, and this is him when he's introduced. Purunga. He grants 3 wishes.
Ooh.
He cannot revive more than 1 person per wish.
Okay.
He's Shenron but swole.
I see that.
And he's summoned by gathering the 7 Namekian Dragon Balls.
Cool.
So here's Frieza in all his forms. Little guy here is first form.
Okay.
This one is second form.
Okay.
This alien looking xenomorph looking thing is third form. This is his final form. This is his final form powered up. This is after he gets cut to pieces and the planet explodes on him and he gets rebuilt as a cyborg.
Okay.
This is after he gets revived by the Dragon Balls in Dragon Ball Super and he trains for the first time. He achieves a
Form.
transformation and he becomes a Lakers fan.
Okay.
What do I have? Base form is Short King. Second form is Tall Boy. Third form is Xenomorph. Final form is Slim Mewtwo. Final form full power is Swole Mewtwo. Gold Frieza becomes a Lakers fan after training for the first time. He came back as a cyborg once. He has an entire fucking army.
Yeah.
And you can destroy... He's got planet level destroying generic key
Or that
blasts.
is plant level.
And he was also the last time we cared about like
Okay.
putting power levels on things. Because like
See the one with over 9,000?
No,
no,
that's
this
Goku.
form
Okay.
right here was over 1 million.
Oh shit. I don't like that one.
So we got our boy Trunks here. So this is Trunks before he travels back in time.
Okay.
This is Trunks when we first see him. He travels back in time. This is Super Saiyan Trunks.
Okay.
This is long-haired Trunks when he comes back a second time from the future to fight the androids. This is like what his Super Saiyan looks like with the longer hair. This is Super Saiyan second grade, the buffer version. There's third grade where he just it's way too big. He's too slow. And then this is what he looks like in Dragon Ball Super when he goes Super Saiyan, I believe.
I thought that was from the BoJack movie.
I don't actually know. I grabbed this image because I'm like, oh, this has all the Trunks.
Yeah, I think that's the
You can do that one.
BoJack because in Super he gets the like teal, orange, blue hair.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So-
also matter.
Other than obviously he's got the Super Saiyans, he's got Zenkai Boost, he's got a sword, which is cool. He's got a burning attack where he shoots fire out of his hands.
Interesting.
Buster Cannon is a move that he does,
Okay.
and he single-handedly killed Frieza, King Cold, Android 17, Android 18, and Cell. The last 3 in his own timeline.
Okay.
But this is future Trunks. We have Android 19, which is the clown-looking guy here, and Android 20, who's also Dr. Gero as a cyborg. They've got energy absorption powers, so they can absorb people's ki and all that. Generic ki powers. I think 19 is actually a true android. 20 is definitely a cyborg. He's got a human brain. 19 gets just murked by Super Saiyan Vegeta straight away.
Oh really?
Dr. Dro created androids 16 through 20 at least. There's some other like movie androids that he might have credit for. He did not invent Android 8 from Dragon Ball, but and he used to work for the Red Ribbon Army, so like he's getting vengeance for
Like
them
you
or
see on his head.
yeah,
Oh,
the little red ribbon RR ribbon symbol there. Android 16, he's one of my favorites. He's a full android. He's got rocket punches, so he can just send his punches flying. Hell's Flash, which is when he does this, and he just has these like energy machine guns here. He can self-destruct. He's programmed to kill, just Goku. I said self-destruct twice, I guess.
Since he sacrifices himself for Cell, that's probably what you was going to talk about.
No, I think I just forgot that I had already written self-destruct. And he befriends birds.
Cool.
He also might be Android 20's...
So he's a ladies' man.
Yeah. Android's 20's grandson, maybe?
Maybe. That's a fan theory. We have Android 17, whose name is Lapis.
Cool.
He's actually a cyborg. He's got an infinite energy supply, is the thing that 17 and 18 have. So he just never... Infinite energy and stamina. Never gets low. He's got like a cool barrier thing, generic key stuff. He can be absorbed by Cell. And he can... In Dragon Ball Super... Not Super. Dragon Ball GT... Dr. Gero makes another Android 17
In hell.
in hell.
Okay.
And then those Android 17s like fight and then fuse together to make Super Android 17. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He's got a bomb implanted in his body by Dr. Giro.
Cool.
Android 18, whose real name is Lazuli, actually a cyborg. Same stuff that her brother has, can be absorbed by Cell. And marries Krillin, the real superpower here. She can be married to Krillin. She can stand
Short
there.
King.
Mr. Satan,
Yeah.
also called Mark Satan, also called Hercule Satan. He's got money and lying and inspiring the people.
It's like, for a caveat, he did win a world martial arts.
Yes, he
tournament.
is. He is.
Twice.
He is
One, he
strong
cheated.
by human.
Just not
standards.
Z-Fire.
He doesn't have any key control, and his daughter is stronger than him.
And his granddaughter.
Yeah, and it's most certainly his granddaughter. His granddaughter's flying as a baby.
Is he like the mayor of Sanacity?
Satan
Satancity.
City.
Yeah, Satancity.
Satancity. I don't think he's the mayor, but I think they
Okay.
worship him there.
They just renamed his
Yeah.
town after him. Okay. I know it's Satan City, but I read it as
Satancity. Satancity. He does save the world by inspiring the people and getting them to give up their energy for Goku's spirit bomb. So
Cool.
Also befriending Boo, the fat one.
yes, he did befriend Boo, and then some hunters killed the dog. And
Boo goes.
so we've got Cell. This is his base form here. Well, he technically has forms before that, but this is before he
Okay.
absorbs any androids.
Gotcha.
But he reaches that form. He hatches from a larva and then absorbs people's energy.
So I thought whenever he came out of in the future, out of the lab, he looks like that. The larva was for him to rest, save energy.
Yeah, when he
something.
went back in time, whatever. This is after he absorbs Android 17, and then this is after he absorbs Android 18.
Okay.
So he can regenerate from a single cell.
Yeah.
He was made by Dr. Gero by combining cells from Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza, and King Cold, which is Frieza's dad.
Okay.
He can drain people with his tail, just like they just will stop existing, and he eats them with his tail.
Interesting.
Talked about his base forms. This middle one is called Imperfect Cell. This last one is called Perfect Cell. Technically, there's a super perfect cell
Whatever.
because he has Zenkai Boost as well. He gets down to a single cell and he comes back, and now he's twice as powerful or whatever. He can spawn Cell Juniors, which are short king versions of him that are blue. And he knows all the big boy
special
moves.
abilities.
Special Beam Cannon, Kamehameha, Big Bang Attack, Spirit Bomb, Solar Flare, Barrier, Instant Transmission.
Yeah.
Finally, Videl, also known as the Great Saiyaman 2 or the Great Saiyawoman. Basic key control, best girl, and her one transformation, she goes from long hair to short hair. Which is the most powerful transformation in Dragon Ball Z history.
Yes.
I don't know, she's great. And then she just it's not a character in Super, which is sad.
Yeah.
We have Trunks Kid, generic key attacks. He's a Super Saiyan. He can fuse, he gets Zenkai Boost, and he's got money.
Nice. Oh, he's one of those rich kids.
Goten, Kamehameha Wave, Super Saiyan, Fusion, Zenkai Boost. Then we get Gotenks. So these are two failed fusions of Gotenks
Okay.
where they didn't quite get it. They didn't match their energy level right, so they weren't as strong as they should be. This is when they knocked out one of the World Martial Arts Tournament competitors in the adult competition called Mighty Mask and took his place by standing on top of each other.
Okay.
So that's sort of a Gotenks thing. It's them fighting together. Here's regular base form Gotenks, and here's Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and here's Super Saiyan Gotenks. They are formed by the Fusion Dance, which they can have what is it? It lasts for 30 minutes is the basic time limit there. They've got some fun moves. I don't remember what Splitting Headache is, but I wrote
I
it
think
down.
it's just them headbutting them.
Yeah, possibly. Kamehameha Wave. They have Galactic Donut, where it's this ring of energy that then binds people together. And then he does a fuck ton of those to the point where it looks like a volleyball.
Okay.
And it's Charging Ultra Boo Boo Volleyball is the name of the move, where he's just treating Boo like a volleyball.
Interesting.
Which is sort of... Tien had a move called the volleyball attack where he would just spike people.
Yeah.
So he's got volleyball attack. He's got what they call a power shout, where they trapped Super Boo in a
In the hyperbolic time chamber.
yeah, in the hyperbolic time chamber, and they broke the exit. It's like this alternate dimension where 1 hour is a full day and 1 day is a full year. And Boo is just like gets really fucking angry at that and screams so much that he tears a hole in the dimensions and is able to escape. And then Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks does the same thing after he realizes that's something that can be done. Super Ghost Kamikaze attacks as he forms a bunch of little like ghosts and then they fly at people and explode.
Interesting.
Continuous die missile. I wrote that one down. I think it's just more ghosts keep getting shot out.
Yeah.
And we see him in Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3. You know, he skips 2 because at that point it's like, well, Super Saiyan 3 was introduced. So we've got Supreme Kai and Kibito. So the Supreme Kai is the little guy here. He's technically the highest ranked god in this universe. His life is tied to the god of destruction. Because he's a Kai, Potara fusions are permanent with him. And he's got generic key attacks. Kibito is like his secretary. Basic key attacks. He's tall. And because he's technically a Kai, he's permanent Potara fusion. They didn't know that it was permanent. They're the first ones to demonstrate Potara fusing when they learn about it. And it's like, oh, I guess we're stuck together.
And then not.
We don't really know what they do. They've never really fought in this form. Eventually, they use their Dragon Balls to wish themselves to be separate people, but that's in Dragon Ball Super.
Gotcha.
But this is like their combined form. I don't really know what he's capable of because I don't think he really fought much. But yep, that's Supreme Kai. We've got Babidi and Deborah. So Babidi is a clone of the wizard Bibbidi.
Babidi?
Yep. And he can greatly enhance people's strength by bringing out their evil.
I got that as a,
and mind controlling them. He's got basic magic shit.
Okay.
And he's got an energy stealing device, which is he's trying to do to get enough energy to get Boo out of his hibernating shell. Deborah is a literal demon. He's got generic key attacks, and he can spit on people to turn them into stone.
Cool.
Gets them hard.
Yep. Spits on people and they get hard.
Usually how it works.
So here's Majin Buu. He's got planet-destroying key attacks. He can turn people into candy/cookies.
Cool.
Regeneration from the tiniest part.
Okay.
He can absorb people, stealing their powers and strengths.
Okay.
And then he's got different forms. So Kid Buu is what he was first created as, this little guy here. Fat Buu, he absorbed a bunch of the Supreme Kais that existed.
Okay.
The only one that escaped is the Supreme Kai I showed you earlier. And one of them, he actually became weaker when he absorbed one of them because of one of the Kais was just like this big, kind, fat guy. So once he absorbed him, he actually became weaker and more childlike. Evil Boo is this purple one here. So I mentioned that, you know, Hercule kind of reformed Boo, and then Boo's puppy got shot by a hunter.
Oh, okay.
So Boo gets super pissed, releases a bunch of steam that then forms into this Evil Boo. They fight each other. Evil Boo wins and reabsorbs Fat Boo and becomes Super Boo here. I mentioned that Super Boo gets trapped in the hyperbolic time chamber and screams to escape. I think that's what he's doing right there.
Okay.
I don't know why they included that as a form, but it's there. He absorbs Piccolo, and he gets this form right here. He absorbs Gotenks, and he gets this form. When Gotenks eventually unfuses in his body because it reaches the time limit, he goes back to the Piccolo wearing clothes form just because Piccolo was more powerful than either Goten or Trunks. But then he absorbs Gohan, Ultimate Gohan, there after he unlocked his power, so he gets Gohan's shirt.
Is he like Kirby?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Okay.
They battle Vegito, the first fusion of Goku Vegeta. He eats them, and then they go through.
Yeah. So we'll talk about Vegito here. So he's the Potara fusion of Vegeta and Goku. He's got something called Banshee Blast. He's got the Big Bang Attack, Kamehameha Wave, Final Kamehameha, Spirit Cannon, and Spirit Sword. So he just gets an energy sword that he can go from his arms. He's got a barrier. He's got instant transmission. He's got Super Saiyan. He's got Super Saiyan 2. He gets Super Saiyan Blue. He beats the shit out of Gohan absorbed Boo after being turned into a piece of candy. Like, Boo turns him to a piece of candy, and he still can fly around and taunt him and beat the shit out of him. So finally, he gets absorbed by Boo, but it was actually, they intended to do that. They defused inside of Boo's body, and then they weren't fully absorbed. They were just in his body, and they found all of the the other people in his body, and they pulled them all out.
Yeah.
And that's how Boo turned back into Kid Boo.
Gotcha.
Which, the moment they unfused, Vegeta just took off the earring and destroyed it. He's like, I'm never doing that again. Don't make me try this.
We learned in Dragon Ball Super, it's like, well, how did they unfuse? The Proton fusion was supposed to be permanent. And they're just like, we retconned it. It only lasts like an hour. Otherwise,
Non-Kais, it lasts an hour.
Kai's, it's permanent.
Permanent. Yep.
See the last page that I had?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is the last character to get introduced in
Gotcha.
Dragon Ball Z. I didn't put any other super characters. I talked about some super stuff, but
There
didn't
was
go
Old
through
Man Kai.
Yeah,
that's
whatever. He
Supreme
unlocks
Kai that's
Gohan's
really
potential.
old.
He was
Okay.
trapped in the Z Sword, which is a thing. So that's the Dragon Ball Crash Course. So
Okay.
so now do you know what a Zenkai boost is
Yeah.
in a Sensu Bean?
Yes.
Do you remember what a Kaioken is?
I remember the term. Kaioken was. You just said it once. What was it?
It is a temporary power up that puts great strain on the body.
Yep. But lowers your speed.
Nope.
No.
Oh, that was the second. And
That's Super Saiyan
Oh,
second.
okay.
Kai. This one is just your speed power gets upped, but it's taxing on the body.
Gotcha.
To do. And you can't do it for very long,
Mhm.
so it's like short bursts.
Gotcha. Johnny, you want
Um,
to take that off?
Sure.
It's just kind of annoying.
Okay, so yeah, so I've got some notes here. Oolong, Puar, Bulma, and Launch are the gossipy bitches.
Okay.
Eventually, I think Chi-Chi sort of joins in that.
Okay.
Goku's on a mission from Kami whenever he has to fight Piccolo in the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, which is why we did the
Yeah.
intro there. I just want to note that the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament has got a fucking stacked roster. There's normally just obviously those characters that aren't main characters, they're gonna lose in the first round. They're gonna be joke wins. But you got Goku, you got Piccolo Jr., you got Kami, you got Tien, Krillin, Yamcha's the weakest one there. You've got Mercenary Tao, and you got Chi-Chi. It's a fucking stacked world tournament.
Cool.
I don't even realize that there is a little guy down in the bottom of this picture. I did not realize that when I was making this is the last slide that I made 2 weeks ago, and I haven't looked at it since. So I'm sorry about that, folks. But Brock, do you have any questions? Do you think there was something I should have covered on here that I didn't?
No, this was all just the main points. Here, just trying to do a crash
Here's
course.
Yeah, and I kind of did the plot of the show as I introduced characters, sort of thing. Okay, do you know? Because I don't think I talked about this, but do you know what planet they fought Frieza on?
No.
They fought Frieza on planet Namek, which is the home
That
of the
makes
Namekians.
Okay.
That's something I realized I didn't mention that.
I've heard of Planet Namek.
Do you know why Future Trunks is the only one to come back from the future?
Everybody else is dead, right?
Yep, everybody else. 17 and 18 killed everybody else.
Except for Goku, who died of a heart attack.
Yeah, he wasn't there to help, so
Yeah.
he brought medicine back so that Goku could survive his heart illness.
Okay.
It's but also that didn't help his timeline because it's just oh yeah, that time travel doesn't work like that. Anything I do to you guys doesn't affect me. But he eventually gets strong enough in our timeline that he goes back and defeats 17 and 18. And by the time Cell would naturally hatch, he's able to defeat him as well.
Cool.
Because Cell also came from a different timeline. The Cell of our timeline is still just a little baby
That Trunk,
fetus.
or no,
sort of thing.
Krillin kills, I think.
Yeah, they find him in Dr. Giro's lab and kill it.
Okay.
But a different timeline Cell came back to the past because in his timeline, 17 and 18 were dead, and he wanted to achieve his perfect form.
Gotcha.
That Trunks defeated them, but wasn't strong enough to beat the Cell, and it got
So there's three
weird.
timelines. There's the timeline that our future Trunks comes from. There's our normal timeline, and there's a timeline that is
For
basically like, okay, Trunks was strong enough to defeat 17 and 18, not strong enough to defeat Cell, but Cell's just like, I can't achieve my perfect form because 17 and 18 are gone. So he steals the time machine and goes back in time. Bulma is the one who makes the time machine.
Wow.
And then in Super, they're like, hey, you should stop using that. That's very bad.
Yeah.
Until this one time when Trunks comes back and they're like, yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z Crash Course there. So what are your, from what you've seen, Ben, what are your thoughts on Dragon Ball and the Great Saiyaman Saga?
I mean, the Great Saiyaman was kind of great. It does lose a little towards the end. I feel like the first part's really fun when he's in like high school, but when he starts training, it gets a little.
I don't know.
Stale.
I like when Videl shows up to train with him.
Yeah.
I think there's just like 1 or 2 episodes that are just kind of boring.
Yeah,
There's
I think it's more in the middle though.
Yeah, I think it's like actually when he's like the Great Saiyaman. There's like that episode where he like saves the baby dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
That was kind of boring, I thought.
Yeah. But it's just like, I just like when it's like Videl is trying to figure out who he is and she's chasing, like, I just love that dynamic.
But yeah, overall, I like that.
And then I think at the end, yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, it's Videl learning to fly, which is probably my favorite parts of the show. And then it's ramping up for the tournament, which is just like, yeah, you'll get more Videl Gohan interactions. But we didn't watch that part because I'm like, well, I told you it'd only be 10 episodes because that's what Wikipedia says the Great Saiyaman arc is.
But like as a whole, I don't know, it was fine. I could see why people like it. Just too much for me.
Yeah.
Too many episodes. I do like tournament arcs though. Those are fun. But
well, and it's the Dragon Ball
hit or
like
miss.
filler is not always like, okay, it's a filler episode. Like I don't really care. But that's when Don Shula shows up.
Oh yeah, my favorite character.
But it's like, hey, this is, what do you want to call it? There are parts that drag. Watching it this time, I was just like, I can't, like, I noticed how, like, oh yeah, like, I just know Goku's gonna win every fight, and I just started wondering, like, what if I wasn't, like, what if I wasn't already intimately familiar with this whole series? Like, it's just, like, all these things, it's like, yeah, Goku just took a bullet to the head, and it didn't phase him, like I having like been exposed to Dragon Ball Z before Dragon Ball, which is like, yeah, he's super powerful. He's this alien god.
That's probably one of the main issues I probably had watching it as well. It's just like I know everything basically already, even though I've never seen it.
You just know.
I have a general gist of what happens, so it's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
You know
so it's just like,
Goku's gonna win.
it's just like I was watching it, and I was suddenly just like, okay, there are parts of this that are fun. There are parts of this that I'm just like, would I like this if I wasn't like, yeah, it's Goku beating up somebody? Like, I don't know. That I had that for the first time. The last time I watched Dragon Ball was in college, and it's just like, I don't know. I was just like, yeah, that was fun. You know, there are parts that drag, but it was fun. This time I was a little more like, okay, I can see the flaws here, and I can see like the fact that it's getting by on, you know, the thing that, you know, my nostalgia kick for it sort of thing. That being said, don't let my thoughts influence. Brock, what are you thinking of Dragon Ball and specifically the Great Saiyaman episodes?
Well, I love the original Dragon Ball, and the Great Saiyaman I really enjoyed as well. Since it's like, oh, here's now Gohan being the main character. And he took the, greatest attack ever of Videl jumping on his face.
Yeah.
Even though he could have easily dodged. He's
You're
like,
just referencing the Boo Bits, which is fine. The Boo Bits came out recently, and it's like, Team 4-Star. So good. So good. I do feel like this is the one group of 3 people we could find where we'd be like, yeah, the Great Saiyaman rules. Whereas everybody else is like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
It's goofy, and I hate it.
High school comedy. It's like great.
I live for that shit.
There's a baseball episode. Of course I'm going to love it.
He jumps up really high.
And just stays up there.
And he doesn't know that it's a weird thing for people to jump this high. So he just shrugs it off like,
I just thought he flew up there. Like,
I got good shoes.
I got
my new shoes doing me real good here.
Yeah, he flies to a city like hundreds of miles away on the Nimbus. And just like, okay.
Yeah, I commute every morning from the 492 mountain area or whatever the hell this mountain area is called. Like that's shit. You have like a 5-hour drive. Yep.
Like a good gas mileage.
Good gas mileage.
One cloud to the gallon. 1 infinite miles to the cloud. I'm a little disappointed that is not the original Nimbus. In Dragon Ball, Goku gets a second Nimbus cloud from Quan at one point. It's like, that's not
General
the same
Blue.
Nimbus.
General Blue blows him up. It's like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, he blows up the Nimbus.
Yeah, at one point, Corn's just like, hey, I've been growing these Nimbuses. Do you want one? Pick one out. And Goku's like, yeah, sure. And it's like, but that's not the original Nimbus. I know it was just a cloud, but he kind of felt like a character. Goku would talk to him like he was a character.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every episode I watched, Nimbus was in it.
Nimbus, I didn't put him on the character. I should have put Nimbus on the
Yeah.
characters. I just put him as a equipment that Goku had. Oh, well. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I love Dragon Ball Z. I will always love Dragon Ball Z. I don't think I'm gonna watch it anytime in the future.
Okay.
I might play. You said Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is apparently in the works, which
Yeah.
I had all 3 of those growing up. I've since lost Budokai Tenkaichi 1, but I still have 2 and 3 down in the basement, I think. So
I got 1 and 2.
or maybe it's actually
And I also,
Tenkaichi 3 is right there.
I also got the first just Budokai.
Yeah,
one.
you had those. I had Budokai 3. I think that one got lost or I traded it to somebody, but I had Budokai 3. And I remember playing 1 and 2 at your birthday at one point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got Dragon Ball Fighters on my Switch, and I bought a bunch of DLC characters, including Videl, and I've watched a video. I've watched it 2 or 3 times now in the course of the years that I've had this, where it's like, I'm gonna learn how to play as Videl, and this guy does this breakdown video. It's like, I don't know the basic shit about fighting games. This video is too complicated. I need to go train, and then you can't train as that character through the training. You have to play as Super Saiyan Goku, and it's yeah,
No.
some of these basics, and then I don't remember the basics because there's 30 basics. I can't put the energy towards this. The last time I tried, which was a month ago, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Nope, not gonna do it. So maybe one of these days we'll put Dragon Ball Fighters again. But yeah, it's just, it'll always hold a special place in my heart. If you say you don't like it, I completely understand. I don't think Shabs needs to ever watch it. You should watch more Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I might watch it.
Yeah.
That's if I'm being honest, that's the best way of watching Dragon Ball. I just wish they had the full Boo arc and not just the Boo bits. But I think they just steal the copyright shit too much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and they didn't want their channel to, I think, just be known. I could just easily be talking out of my
yeah,
ass. So
I think they
they talk
transitioned
about
to they transitioned to Let's Plays and podcasts, and just because that's where money.
Yeah.
That's where the industry went on YouTube for a while there. So,
But another guy that I watched was he's a dude that does a whole lot of Dragon Ball and was redoing a bits about this, and so he got a hold of them and really, I think, helped convince them to do the Boo bits.
yeah, they say in the videos, yeah, we made this for this dude. So, so good on that dude. We got the Boo bits, which is great. We've been going on long enough, I think. So, you can follow us here on Twitch at Demented Goku. You can follow us on YouTube as Anime Territory. We're on Twitter as Anime_Territory. Sorry, X as Anime_Territory. I'll be honest, I almost never check those. I never read comments on YouTube because I'm just, why would I go in and do that in my free time?
Because you're not doing anything.
I'm watching One Piece right now. Thank you very much. Which is, sorry, I'm watching One Piece because I refuse to watch regular One Piece. So that's where all my time's going right now. But yeah, do whatever. Follow us, don't follow us. I don't give a shit. We don't do it for views, obviously. Otherwise, we would have stopped doing it a while ago.
I stopped 50 episodes ago.
Yeah. You are now leaving the anime territory.
Goodbye.
Oh, can I find the stop streaming button?